Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about spring perfumes because, well, spring is kind of in the air, although today it's a bit rainy and miserable, but there are daffodils about everywhere and pretty flowers are starting to spring up. So I thought it was time to give you a list of the best spring fragrances from my collection, the fragrances I will be choosing to wear on the spring days that are just around the corner. Before I go on, did you see my previous video about the raffle? So I'm holding a massive raffle. We have got some amazing prizes. I think the value of the prizes is probably over £2,000 worth now, and you can win one of many niche perfumes. So go and have a look at the video that I've already posted. I'll link it below. And to enter, you just have to send £5 to my PayPal address. Make sure it's friends and family, otherwise PayPal will take a fee, and that will get you one ticket into the raffle. You do need to be in the UK because the majority of the prizes can only be sent within the UK. So I'm sorry about that if you are elsewhere. You can enter as many times as you want, and we've already raised over £850 for the British Red Cross for the work that they're doing over in Ukraine and at the borders for the Ukrainian people. So please, 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 if you haven't entered already, do so now. I really want you to win. There are some amazing prizes. Now let's get on with the video. The first spring fragrance I'm going to be mentioning is actually a brand new one. Why do I look so grey? I think it's the lighting in this room. I look really grey. Not very spring-like at all, hey ho. The first one I'm mentioning is brand new from a company called Perfumes, and this is a 10ml that I have here, and it's called Far, F-A-R, Far, and the fragrance it's basically like a lime cheesecake. So it has lime and yuzu, so it has a really strong, zesty, refreshing sharpness that you can imagine from a lime cheesecake. And then you have the biscuity base, which is basically resins. I think there's labdanum, there's some other resins. It's really long lasting for a fairly fresh fragrance, but it's great for spring because it has some heft to it with that biscuity base, so it's not just pure freshness. So this is a perfect one for spring when you don't really know if you're going to be getting hot or cold weather or anything in between. So that is Far from Perfumes. The next one is called Peut-Etre, and it's from Lancome. I wasn't going to mention this because I thought it was discontinued, but I've just searched and it's available. It's certainly available at Phoenix. It may well be available elsewhere as well. Peut-Etre is a musky floral. There's listed notes of rose, white musk and benzoin, but to me it's a really creamy, clean musk with this hint of rose and a little bit of powder, but it's not mega powdery, and it was quite long lasting on the skin as well, and it just envelopes you in this lovely clean spring fresh type feeling, which I absolutely love. So that is Peut-Etre from Lancome. And this is B from Zoologist. I love this for spring. It's not an obvious choice. I think some people might think it's more of a, let's put some on. I think some people might think it's more of a winter, cold weather fragrance. And it certainly does well in the cold weather. But there is this white floral note in here mixed with honeycomb. So in a way, like Far, it's got that mixture of freshness with some heavier sweet notes. It doesn't exactly smell like honey. To me, it smells more like honeycomb. There's a hint of almond. I think there's a heliotrope note which gives it a little hint of almond as well. Some oranginess. There's a ginger syrup. There's some orange notes, I think. It's quite rich, but it does feel really fantastic when the sun warms it up on a sort of like a nice spring day. The sun warms it up on your skin. It's lovely. This one screams spring to me. It's called Levant from Ormonde, Jayne, and it's another musky floral. Yeah, it's got, I think it's a freesia note. It's got lots and lots and lots of musk, clean musk, powdery, almost a little laundry detergent, and a hint of vanilla in the base, which warms it up. really long lasting. I got a compliment on this just yesterday from my hairdresser. Thank you, Santino, for the lovely cut, by the way. And it's a perfect spring day fragrance. Ormonde Levant. This one's called Violet in Love. It's from Nicolai. Used to be called Parfums de Nicolai, now called Nicolai Parfumeur Createur. I really like this house. I need to explore more from them. Definitely put out beautiful fragrances at a reasonable price, and this is a violet fragrance as you might expect. It's another musky one, lots of musk. I think there's a raspberry note that warms it up. There may even be rose, I'm not sure, but it has a pinky violet scent. It's got a freshness. I think there's a touch of bergamot in the opening, so it's got that freshness, clean, musky, floral again, but on the violet side of things, which is fabulous. And I wore this one on my wrist yesterday, and I've worn this throughout all the seasons, but to me it speaks spring. It really does work fantastic in spring. It's called Sex and the Sea Neroli from Francesca Bianchi, and this one has this rich yet fresh suntan sun lotion type scent to it, but it's got a lot of neroli, so it's quite bitter in the opening. It smells like it could be neroli and petitgrain. You know, it's got quite a lot of that kind of like greenness that you get from neroli, as well as the oranginess and the floralness, like the orange blossominess of neroli. But you also have, so I think there's a bit of coconut. You definitely do get that sunscreen like smell from it as well. And then in the base, and I don't really notice this all the time, but I did yesterday, when you get far into it, you get a little bit of vanilla mixing with it all as it becomes sort of closer to the skin. But this is really long lasting and really good projector. So it's perfect for the cooler days of spring, because it's really going to push out through the cold air still. But it has that spring feel. It has that lovely, fresh, flowery type scent to it as well. So Sex and the Sea Neroli. This is Angelique from Papillon Perfumery, and this is a sort of like a green iris. I think there's some mimosa, so you get this like powdery, yellow powdery, floral, almost pollen like scent. A little bit of a sharp, fresh greenness to it. Lots of earthy iris, very natural smelling, and a really lovely, clean, sort of clean-ish, fresh, natural smelling, outdoorsy type scent, I guess you would say. And while I'm talking about this fragrance, the House of Papillon, the owner and perfumer Liz Moores has actually donated one of every single scent in her catalogue. That's 7 fragrances. She's donated one of each for the raffle. So if you're interested in the House of Papillon, you absolutely must sign up for the raffle. As I mentioned earlier, just £5 a ticket, and you have a chance to win your choice from the Papillon range, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. And this one was actually my scent of the day. This is called Centrepiece. My version has extra honey in it, and it's the Parfum strength. However, I'm recommending the original version that's on the 460 Tuesdays, 4160 Tuesdays website. Centrepiece, spelt with a C, and it's a frangipani honeyed green tea. I think there's jasmine as well, so it's kind of a sweet, rich floral again. This one, the florals smell honeyed rather than you actually smelling a jar of honey. It's much more a honeyed floral to my nose. It's really pretty, it's really springy, it's got a good bit of sweetness to it, so it's, if you've got a little bit of a sweet tooth, I think you'll enjoy this one. It's really pretty and perfect for spring. Last but not least is Tom Ford's Venetian Bergamot. Despite the name, it should be called something gardenia really, because this is a gardenia scent, but it's not a really thick and heavy waxy gardenia. It's a light and fresh version that still stays very strong on your skin for a long time. It's definitely got some backup sort of woodsy type notes. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a bit of ISO-E super in there. I tend to catch something like that in there, but it's a very fresh, especially when you first smell it, which must be the bergamot mixing with the gardenia. It's very fresh, it's quite natural smelling, and really pretty, but it has more sharpness to it than maybe some of the other fragrances I've talked about. There's no sort of vanilla type notes to round this one out. It's definitely got a slightly sharper, fresher air about it. So this is great for the warmer spring days, or just keep it as a daytime scent. But it is definitely really pretty. That's Tom Ford Venetian Bergamot. Don't forget to enter the raffle. You must enter the raffle. You could win an amazing perfume, and you're going to help support British Red Cross and all the amazing stuff that they're doing at the moment in the terrible situation that's happening over at Ukraine. So please enter. As I say, we've already raised £850, and I really hope we can get that much higher. And a big thank you to all the brands that have sponsored the raffle with their prizes. It's been just, I've been overwhelmed by the generosity, so amazing. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.